This is episode number 68 of the Homeowner Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowner Show. We're glad that you could join us for this very special episode. How you doing, Kev?
Man, I'm tired.
You had a rough week.
Dude, I don't know. Man, like, sometimes you look at life and you go, why am I doing this?
Just life in general? Or just, like, today?
I don't know. Depends on the day.
Stay with us, Kev.
I'm not suicidal, y'all. I'm not. No, I love life. I just hate when things that should be simple aren't nearly as simple as they should be. So here's the problem.
Welcome to the Homeowners Therapy Hour, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we moved here, we had a certain homeowners and auto insurance company that we used and we liked. Well, whenever we moved to Texas, it was going to be more expensive to use them. So we decided, we'll go with someone else. So we did.
Yeah. Stick it to them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just save our own ability to own a home is what it was. So anyway, we go with another company. Everything's good.
Right.
A buddy of mine opens up a new insurance agency with the company we used to have.
Right.
And we liked them. Everything was good. I like this guy. I know for a fact that he would look out for me if anything went wrong, blah, 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 blah. So originally he wasn't able to match, but some new stuff came out. He was able to pretty much match what we were already paying. And honestly, it was a little bit more coverage than what we had. So it was going to work out just fine. So effective the beginning of this month, we started this new policy and canceled the old, right? Well, the only thing they had to do in order to make sure everything's going to work is they got to come out and the new company's got to come out and do an inspection on your home. So I get a call back and they say, hey, everything looks good. The only thing is we rate your roof and you get basically a 1 to a 3.
Right.
A 1 is good and a 3 is not good. And yours is between a 2 and a 3. And we don't know if it needs to be repaired or if it needs to be replaced. That's a roofer's call. But you're going to have to call a roofer and figure out what it needs to be,
right,
to start the process to either get it repaired or replaced before your roof is insurable. And I said, what? Like, so what you're telling me is I had perfectly
good insurance.
Yeah. And then I change over to your company and you're telling me after I've dropped my other insurance and now you've drug your backside long enough that it's been 16 days. And now I'm finding out that something that was perfectly insurable is no longer insurable with your company. Yep, that's what they're telling me. So, to make a really long story short, They basically said your best, like, because I'll tell you right now, it's a 20-year-old roof. I knew that. I told them that up front. I put a claim in on it a year ago, and it got denied. It wasn't quite bad enough. Apparently now it is. And so, anyway, I know that I probably need $15,000 of a new roof. And now it's going to be 100% on me.
Yeah.
So their recommendation was you need to see if your old insurance will reinstate you. That's going to be the best thing for you. So I called the broker that I used with the other insurance, and which I really like him, and I like the other insurance just fine, and said, here's the deal. I'm not interested in this other company anymore. Can I be reinstated? And he said, I don't know. Never done that before. I mean, he's been doing this for a while, too. He's like, most people that move.
I guess most people just don't come back.
Yeah. And so he called me back like an hour later and was like, hey, talk to underwriting. And they said that they're willing to keep you, to reinstate you effective the date that you canceled. And thankfully, the other company, who, again, a buddy of mine, he understood the issue. And he said, we'll work it out no matter what. And so they're able to cancel date effective the date that we started. So that's all going to work itself out. Like my stress level last night was through the roof.
Yeah.
This morning and pun. Today, yeah. Pretty much anything could apparently go through my roof.
That's right.
But as of today, everything's kind of back to normal. I'm good. I'm happy. The problem is now my lender has for my home. My lender has already paid new company, and so I've got a check sitting in my house from the old insurance company for escrow, and now I've got to figure out how to get
money back.
Yes, I've got to get the old my current insurance company. I need to get them to pay escrow, and I got to get it refunded. It's like this whole stupid mess.
The old switcheroo on the insurance money scam.
That's right. So here's the thing. Like I was talking, and
you may have just found the secret honey hole,
right? And now I don't know. I mean, I don't actually know if this guy. He might listen to our show. I don't know if he does actually. 100%. He's still a friend of mine. I'm not mad at him. I mean, this isn't his fault or anything. I'm not upset about that. I'm upset about the company and the way they do business.
Yeah.
And so I just want to put it out there for everybody that like insurance companies, they do this. They switch you over.
Right.
They cancel your old policy and then they do the inspection.
Yep.
They don't do it the other way around.
Yep.
They should do it the other way around. They should do the inspection, make sure you're insurable, and then switch you over, but they don't do that. And my understanding is they used to, but they don't anymore because they were losing money on people who would
just chipping in for the free inspection.
That's right. They'd get the inspection, and then they would have no intention of ever buying the policy.
Thanks to all you freeloaders out there.
Exactly. Don't be that person. You're ruining it for all of us. This is why we can't have nice things.
That's why we can't have nice things.
And so, like, I mean, and you and I talked about this off air earlier, is like, it would be super simple for these companies to be like, hey, it's going to cost you $150 for an inspection unless you buy the policy, and then we're going to throw it in.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty standard business practice.
Absolutely.
I mean, we do that in our business all the time where like people call us with like, if there's a severe problem, they want us like, just come take a look at it.
Right.
It's like, okay, we're going to come take a look at it, but there's a service call.
Right.
If we end up doing the work, we'll take that out, but
that happens all the time.
Yeah, but it's not a big deal.
It's not the way these companies are run. They know they've got you, hog-tied basically, and you've got. I mean, if this other company wasn't willing to take me back, I'd be screwed right now.
Yeah,
completely screwed. And so, thankfully,
we're doing another roofing episode is what we'd be doing.
You're lying about that. I'd already had Justin on speed dial from Fair Claims, the episode that we did on roofs. He's a friend of mine too, so I was going to call him and be like, dude, you've got to figure something out here for me. But so here's my recommendation to everybody. Like, if you choose to switch insurance companies, first of all, if there's anything in your mind that makes you think I might be uninsurable for this,
right? I've
got an old roof, I've got some siding that's needing repair. I got, whatever. Don't cancel your old insurance until that inspection has come through. Just don't do it. Just wait.
Yeah.
And if you're doubly insured, then you're doubly insured. Congratulations. You're paying out the wazoo for insurance, and it'll work itself out, and you won't wind up with the problem that I almost wound up with.
Yeah. That's funny you mentioned that, man, because like when we bought this place, I was really surprised that it wasn't inspected. And then I started working on it, and I was really surprised that it wasn't inspected.
I'm probably pretty glad it wasn't. Yeah, got lucky.
Yeah,
but on the flip side of that, like I'm getting pretty excited because it's not part of their Christmas present, but we're telling our kids at Christmas that we're going to Disney next year, so I'm getting pumped about stuff and getting
Christmas is in the air.
Yeah. So I love all that kind of stuff. Honestly, but you want to know what I'm more excited about than anything else?
What's that?
Mickey's Runaway Railway.
You're excited about it?
Super excited about it. Have you read up on any of the tech that?
No, because I'm still bitter about it. I don't want to like it.
I know. I mean, they got rid of
one of my favorite rides.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
But I'm pretty excited about what they're doing with it. So I'm excited to go ride it and see what it's going to be. But
is it supposed to be scary?
No.
Okay. I was curious if your kids were going to get on it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because it's Mickey.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. It'll be good.
Awesome, man.
So
well,
anyway.
we have a really cool episode tonight. We've got David and Tyler in from Smart Size Buildings to talk about all the different fun buildings that they put together for homeowners. And let me tell you guys, this is a wide buffet of selection you got coming at you tonight. So this is pretty interesting stuff. How you guys doing?
Great. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Glad you guys could come in studio and share with us a little bit about what you do. Real quick, before we get into smart size buildings, I was telling Tyler earlier. I saw earlier today you're thinking about doing some educational stuff for the kiddos. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is. I have people ask me weekly to teach their kids, and honestly, it's a huge liability bringing kids into a wood shop, in a manufacturing setting. So, still exploring it, possibly trying to put together some type of DIY at home, parent, kids program.
Yeah,
it's in the works. It is in the works.
I think it's fantastic, man. I mean, anything we can do to teach. I mean, because kids don't have shop class.
No, not at all.
They don't learn how to do this kind of stuff anymore unless they have a dad, or like an uncle or something that shows them how to do this kind of stuff. So I think it's fantastic you're thinking about doing that.
And also nowadays, even with the dads, everybody's got a busy lifestyle. Everybody's busy, and it's hard for a lot of dads to fit things like that into their schedule, especially if they don't work with stuff like that. If they don't have a 2x4 just sitting around.
But
so, and that's where we would come in. We would actually, pre-cut everything and, lay everything out and then ship it to you, and you would literally assemble it with your kid.
Yeah. So, I think a lot of people that live here don't realize, because Houston is a huge commuter city,
It is.
You think of like big cities, they're usually like pretty tight, and so like people commute either like on public transportation or they've got like a 20-minute drive. In Houston, it's not uncommon to have like an hour or an hour and a half drive, and so moms and dads are literally spending like sometimes 3 hours on the road every day getting to and from work. And so like you're absolutely right, they're busy because they're spending like a huge chunk of their day driving.
Yeah,
so they don't have time to do stuff at home. Everyone I talk to in this area is just like, if you ask them how they're doing, it's like, I'm so busy.
Well, and part of that is where we live, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we live 40 miles, actually more than that, more like 45 miles from the center of Houston.
Yeah.
So, we are definitely a bedroom community in a lot of ways, even though Conroe has its own hub in a lot of ways. But that being said, you're right. I mean, people, even if they get home at a point in time when their kids are still up and, maybe they have weekends off, those sorts of things, you're exhausted, man. You just don't have time to do some of that. So
anyway, commendable. Good idea. I encourage it. If I can help, let me know.
Awesome. Yeah, it's still in the early stages. I have talked to the website designer and, bounced a lot of ideas off of a lot of family and friends and just pretty much made it somewhat Facebook official the other night. It was really just putting feelers out there to see.
I think that's where I saw it, was on Facebook. Yeah.
It's like, okay, what kind of a response am I actually going to get?
Did you get a good one?
Yeah, right now I have around 80 people that have said, yes, keep me updated.
Awesome.
I threw a little offer out there, but it's, yes, keep me updated. I am interested. And so now it's like, okay, let's move forward and actually start putting a package together.
Awesome.
Cool. I love that.
Cool. Well, get us into the genesis of smart size buildings. Where did this come from? Like, have you always wanted to build stuff, or how'd this thing get going?
Well, growing up, we were the type of family we don't hire out. We just get it done ourselves.
Okay.
And So I gained a lot of experience as a kid. My parents had a remodeling business growing up. So, I was 7, 8 years old and they're being the demo crew. So that was
7 and 8 year olds are really good at that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll do it even without being asked.
Yeah. Tore up a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have and got in a lot of trouble here and there. But, it always stuck in the back of my mind. And then I actually went into sales and I was working for a large mobile home company. Mm-hmm. And, with single wide mobile homes, they always have storage issues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I worked it out with one of my now competitors. But at the time, I'd worked it out to where I was just sending them the referrals.
Okay.
And things didn't go as planned towards the end.
Okay.
And we happened to cut our ties with the referral program and started doing it on my own. Actually, I want to say my first 6 sheds were built in my parents' driveway. They were building them for me after work while I was still working at another company.
Oh, wow.
And once I realized, hey, there is a niche for this. There is an area. There is an opportunity. It took off and everything happened to fall in place.
That's fantastic. So how long have you guys been in business now?
A couple years. March actually makes 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, at first it was more on the side, just here and there. Last month made 2 years of being in full time.
Okay.
With the business. I used to sub everything out to contractors. I went and rented a shop. I would go buy the material, put it in the shop, call them, say, hey, go build the shed while I'm at work. Mm-hmm. And we ran into quality control issues, inventory issues. So it just, like I said, it just worked out to where I could step in full time. And that's when I started hiring employees. And Tyler was one of the first few actually that I'd hired. In a little 500 square foot shop.
Nice.
Yeah. About 2 years ago, yeah.
And so you've been with the company 2 years now.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And so is most of what you guys producing like storage sheds, or you guys doing because I mean, like from our conversations online earlier, I mean, it's like you guys do a lot of different stuff now, right?
We do. We'll pretty much do whatever the customer needs. Mm-hmm. We aim to do everything in the backyard. Okay. I'm looking at adding a line of backyard patio furniture. Okay. And I have opportunities to buy it out of state, bring it in on a truckload, but I'm the type of person, instead of paying somebody else money to do something, I'd rather pay my own guys and keep the money local. Yeah. So, we don't ever work weekends, and I actually just offered for him to work a weekend instead of paying another contractor to do some work for me. So it's like, hey, you want to work Saturday? Yeah. We're looking at adding a backyard patio furniture line. What we do every day is storage sheds, storage sheds, portable buildings. Last year, we started adding chicken coops. It's a little higher end chicken coop. It's not the normal chicken coop that you would find at the local feed store. Right. But, we started adding chicken coops, and those things took off.
I bet.
There is a market for those.
It's a huge market right now.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. I kind of designed one. Let's see what happens. And then it was more, for a few months, it was more than 50% of our business. Oh, wow. So we went from a storage shed business to a chicken coop business.
Are you, like, for the people that you're building chicken coops for, I mean, are they looking at having 2 and 3 chickens in their backyard? Or are you, is this like, full scale, like we need 20 birds in this thing? Or is it the full range that you're getting?
It's everything. The smallest chicken coop we've built was a 8 by 8, 8 foot by 8 foot. Okay. The largest we've built to date was 12 by 20, I believe. Okay. And it's actually sitting on the display lot right now. It's a used model.
Okay. Somebody bought it and then
they bought it and then they moved.
Oh, okay.
So what they told the rent-to-own company is they moved and they couldn't take it to the new property.
Okay. So they asked you guys to come get it?
Yeah. They did a voluntary repo. So sent Tyler out there to pick it up.
Yeah. So I mean, as we're sitting here talking about this, so I assume y'all do like small stuff for, tools and lawnmowers, that sort of thing. Do y'all do all the way up to like RV size buildings, or once we get into that, I mean, are also, I'm curious, are these mostly like wooden buildings, or do y'all do metal buildings? What are your parameters?
So right now, I am a online dealer for a carport company. And what that means is I don't actually have any stock inventory. So everything we would sell for them would be just on paper.
Okay.
You look at pictures, you can buy it. What we do in-house, and we're actually the manufacturer of wood frame portable buildings and storage sheds. We can do wood frame carports, but then it runs into pricing to where most people want the cheaper option of the metal frame. Yep. The square tube frame is just cheaper. But if you need it to match your house, or you need the wood frame for HOA, things like that, that's where we would step in and we would build it ourselves.
Okay.
So as far as size, we can do anything from, a 4 foot by 4 foot deer blind all the way up to a 16 by 40 in a single section. And then you would step into the double sections from there. And that would go all the way up to 32 by 40.
So definitely big enough for RVs.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that, as far as the carports, we could build whatever size.
Okay.
It's an engineered truss system, so we'd have the trusses engineered, and I want to say they go all the way out to 56 foot is how wide my engineer will work up to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. We haven't built anything that big.
Yeah. Yet.
But if you're out there.
Yeah. We're taking orders.
I bet you are.
Yeah. So definitely something that big, we definitely have to build it on site.
Sure.
So the standard customer that, that calls you on the phone, reaches out to you on Facebook, however they're getting a hold of you, what is the primary reason people are looking for like this additional storage on their home?
There's actually a lot. It's hard to narrow it down to one specific customer, or even a couple. I mean, we have people that, just went through a divorce, need a storage. A lot of people realize that they're paying, more than $100 a month at these big self-storage companies.
Oh, yeah.
And they're never going to own it.
No.
Where with us, you could pay, for the same size room, you could pay $100 a month or a little bit more, but then you're going to own it in a couple years.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have that ownership. Instead of making somebody else rich off of your rent. We have a lot. So
real quick, do you guys finance these things?
Right now, we don't have any financing options per se. They're very sensitive with the legalities, the terms. It's rent to own. It's a rental payment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's not an interest rate. It is a rental payment.
Got it.
So you rent it for however many months we agree on the term. And after that term, it's yours.
Okay.
But it's also a rental. So you can cancel.
And you'll come pick it up.
Yeah.
Got it.
You can cancel it anytime.
I got you.
Yeah. So there's pros and cons to it.
For both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For us, the rent-to-own company, and the consumer.
So obviously you're not an attorney, and none of us are here are attorneys. But
I'm close.
You're close. All right. So weigh in here, Kev.
Okay.
What is the legal difference between basically financing something and renting to own? Is that the big distinction? Is that basically this thing either one of you can cancel this agreement and the property can be retaken? Is that basically the difference, or?
Yeah. With a rent to own, there's no credit check.
Okay.
So you have no credit check. Literally, if you have a spot to put it, regardless if you own the property or you lease it, you have a ID or driver's license and some type of income to pay for it.
Yeah.
You're approved.
Yeah.
It's that easy. With financing, obviously, it's a little bit different. There's a lot of banks that don't want to finance them,
right?
Because they are so small. So a lot of the times when it comes to financing, if a customer is dead set on financing, I try to send them through one of the credit unions for a personal loan. There's a couple banks we've been talking to that do offer financing, and they do have a lot of restrictions. It has
I would imagine.
This and this and this, and job term, credit scores, all that. So and it's just I hate to say it, it's a pain.
Yeah.
So rent to own, it's quick and easy, and our customer normally needs something pretty quick.
Yeah.
People come to us, and we do lose quite a bit of sales just because we can't build it quick enough.
You don't have them sitting right there for them to pick up, unless it's a big chicken coop, obviously.
Yeah. We only have a few models. We like to do build to order. I'm not a huge company that has hundreds of thousands of dollars of inventory.
Right.
So, we are a smaller company. I'm the only member in the company, but
I imagine that also gives you somewhat of an advantage in that you can be a little bit more custom.
Exactly.
Like what color do you want? What do you want it to look like? All those kind of things. Like we can get you what you want.
Yeah, we can get it exactly the way you want it. Windows, doors, wall height, pitches of the roof, shingle colors, everything. So
how do you work deals out for like electricity in these things, or if you need plumbing in any of them for one reason or another? Do you subcontract that stuff out, or do y'all build that stuff in up front?
A little bit of both. So it depends on the situation. We can actually pre-wire the shed with the shed electrical package.
Okay.
But we cannot legally tie it into the electrical service. So that's when we would contact an electrician, say, hey, come out here, inspect the shed for us, make sure we did it right to your liking, because obviously he would have to wire it in and sign off on our work.
Correct.
And we do have an electrician that we've met here locally that will come out and inspect the shed and do all the electrical tie-ins.
Okay.
For very reasonable cost.
So y'all take care of that. So if I were to come as the homeowner or a renter and say I want this building, I'm not having to contact the electrician. That's something y'all will do for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we refer him out.
Okay.
That's not an issue at all. We try to do as much as we can just to make it easier on you, because buying anything is hard nowadays.
No, it is, and there's a reason that they need that storage, right? I mean,
they've got something they need to put in there like yesterday.
Yeah, and they don't have the time. And we were just talking about that. They don't have the time to, go out there and find all this stuff, and unless they already have relationships with these people. And a lot of people don't realize, like, just putting a shed out in your backyard with electricity, that's not necessarily something that just happens.
No.
Most people don't have wiring out in the middle of your yard.
Right.
You got to get it out there. You got to have someone to dig a ditch. You got someone to lay the conduit and put, it's not just a simple process. It can become simple by someone else who knows what they're doing, taking care of those things for you, but it's just not plop it down and bam, it works.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've only had one situation where the electrical was already there.
Okay.
And honestly, the guy had ran an extension cord through a piece of conduit.
Oh, no.
And he ordered a playhouse for his daughter.
Okay.
So when we delivered the playhouse, he said, hey, can y'all do this and this and this? It's like, well, we can't, but you can. It's already there.
Yeah.
So that was a very easy job for him.
Sure.
Nice.
So
yeah, we so the house we lived in Little Rock had two sheds in the backyard. One of them was more of a pre-engineered type of building. It was metal exterior, was wooden on the interior. The other one was just that someone came out and built. I mean, the homeowner may have built it, but it was falling apart, all this kind of stuff. And we ran into some electrical issues here and there, and it winds up becoming a pain. And at the end of the day, like, you really want someone to come out and do that. You do not want to do just a DIY job on some of that, because if you don't have good conduit down, or you put something in the ground and then you don't know where it's running, obviously there are companies out there that'll come and let you know where your wiring is, but
yeah.
It's just a big process. So it's nice that y'all are able to kind of take care of that and take that off the purchaser.
Yeah. We try to help out as much as we can, and word of mouth goes a long way. So as long as we keep the customer happy, we keep the customers coming in.
Yeah. Well, so what is? I guess that sort of leads into what is the actual process with you guys? I mean, so someone calls you, they need a shed. Do you guys have? I think you said you had models to pick from, or do you kind of go through like a design process with them?
So we do have a few models. We've built a lot of sheds over the past few years. So we have a lot of pictures to go off of. And realistically, we do go through a design process. It's okay. What are you looking for, and what are you looking to use it for? What style, what size, what kind of quality, because we do have different levels as well.
Okay.
So it's what exactly do you want? What is your budget? And then if it's not realistic, we say, okay, well, this is what we can do to help you. And that's actually where my business name came from, Smart Size Buildings. We're going to make a smarter size building for you to kind of help you out with, okay, well, you can put this and this and this in that shed. Mm-hmm. So we would sit down and really design everything. And every building we sell is drawn up for that specific customer. So, the customer approves all their renderings before we actually build anything.
Oh, okay.
So when the customer changes things last minute, like, hey, go from, instead of 2-3 foot doors for a 6 foot opening, let's change it up to a 4 foot opening. It throws a kink in things, but we can overcome it, as long as we know soon enough. It's not a huge issue. And that's where the renderings come in. We make sure they approve it before we actually build it.
Yeah. And then once it's approved, what's the next step then?
Once it's approved, we would move forward with the production of the building. So we actually go buy all the raw material. So we buy 2x4s and 2x6s, just like everybody else would. Mm-hmm. We bring it into the shop. It's more of a factory setting. So we've gotten the labor costs down enough and the material costs down enough to where we can still make a profit and not charge an outrageous price. But, we cut all the boards, we pre-cut everything, palletize it, and then start assembly.
What does that mean, palletize it?
We actually get everything labeled and on a pallet. So it then becomes a big erector set in the shop.
Okay.
So you're basically doing that for efficiency of like, this is this project, and you go work on project number 1, you go work on, is that kind of the reason for that?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So it just, it eliminates the need to have somebody standing around waiting on somebody else to go cut a board or, hey, where's this piece of material at? It's all right there. So,
okay. So you've put the kit together, so to speak.
Right.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
And so what is, once you have, so your project's been approved, got everything, I learned a new word tonight, Kev. You got everything palletized.
Great. There we go.
So
he's going to screw that up next week.
That's
I promise.
Right. I'm going to use it in an inappropriate way.
That's right.
You got it palletized. What's your turnaround time on that thing?
Just depends. It really depends on the size of the building and our current backlog.
Okay.
So right now, today we just sold or took a deposit on a building. It's a 20 by 32 cabin shell. We're building it out in Grimes County. It's backed all the way out till the end of January, beginning of February.
Okay.
So right now we'll go ahead and start working on the design, getting everything approved by the customer, and then we'll move forward with the production. But it is a few weeks backlogged.
Yeah. So and it's because you got other projects sitting in front of it.
Exactly.
So not that we would ever want this to happen, but say you had no other projects. What's the turnaround time on like a standard shed?
10 by 12 inside the shop, we should be able to knock out in about a day.
About a day? Is this where Tyler jumps in and...
Yeah, that's who I call and say, hey, why isn't this shed built yet?
That is pretty much what I do.
And then he's kind of my go-to guy. It's here's the key to my truck. Go get the material, go deliver this, go run this errand for me, make sure this gets built.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go run this errand. Make sure everything's staying in track and on track and in line.
So you're the project manager.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. One of the things that I'm hearing is that anybody can go to Lowe's, for example, and buy a shed, right?
Yes, sir.
And they can get it brought to their house. Someone will even come and assemble it for them if they want to pay for that to happen.
Sort of.
Yeah. And
Lucky in his 3 fingers.
Exactly. And they can get it done, and they'll have that. But what I hear you saying is we can build any size, any design, any number of openings, any number of, lighting, whatever it is that you need in there. So the difference is you're getting fully custom, and also you're guaranteeing a certain quality. And not only that, like, I know who to call if I wind up having an issue.
Right.
Whereas if I buy this from Lowe's, they're going to be like, "But we just sold it to you." Like,
I just started here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting for my name badge still. So truly, you're giving the customers a very different experience than they're getting by just going to a box store and buying a shed.
Yes, definitely. And they're also shopping local. We do everything here. We're not one of the other shed dealers that orders product from Kentucky and ships it in on an 18-wheeler.
Slam on Kentucky out of nowhere.
Yeah. That was the only state I could think of where I don't know of a shed manufacturer.
That's fine. We don't have many downloads there anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So, we're not one of those dealers that just, buys it from another company and resells it. We're not a dealer for another manufacturer. We manufacture our own product. We warranty all of our own product. We deliver, I'm going to say 90% of our own product. Every now and then we do have to outsource it. We just had a 12 by 32 cabin, a little 1-bedroom, 1-bath that we delivered to South Houston. Obviously we couldn't work it into the delivery schedule and the size of it. I opted to go ahead and contract it out to another driver. It was a piece of cake for him, and it just worked out for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
well, you mentioned something that I want to take a sidebar for. We've never really talked about this on the show, but you brought up something. You brought it up a couple of times now, and it's the idea of this buying local. Can you give us just your opinion? I mean, you're a local business owner, trying to do your best to make a living, but also do it in such a way that it is local. You're calling it local for a reason. What is the purpose behind? Like, why would I care as a person who lives in this area? Why would I care about buying local versus buying from, wherever? What is that benefit?
Let's go with Kentucky.
Let's go.
All right.
What is your opinion on this? Because we've never really talked about this. I've got my own opinions about it, but I'm pro that, by the way.
You left him hanging there. Like, are we about to have a fight?
Yeah.
No. I'm just curious what that means to you.
Honestly, there's a lot, but the biggest things is probably growth in the area, and the unemployment rate is really high. So when you do shop local, you're actually employing people, even if you're not employing them directly. When you buy a product or a service from a local business, you're helping multiple families put food on their table, not just that business owner. To where if you're, buying from one of the bigger companies, where is it?
Yeah.
A lot of these bigger companies have head corporate offices, and some of the bigger companies, you don't even know where the corporate office is.
Right.
Us, it's very easy to find us. So it's all local. And with that, it helps me employ several employees and keep them at 40 hours a week so that they can do what they need to do to take care of themselves.
It boosts the economy.
It does.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah.
Especially in this area, not just everywhere. But
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people realize that most people that own a local small business actually do want to employ more people. They want to help people take care of themselves, provide for their families, put food on the table. They want those things for other people. They don't want it. And most business owners that I know, will take it on the chin themselves in order to make payroll, and so like they want to take care of their people, and they don't just, and that's hard.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's happened a few times, and luckily, we always make it through, even in the slow times.
Yeah.
But and that's just part of business ownership, I guess, or for a small business owner, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think on some level, I think it's important to know that let's say you go to Lowe's, you buy, you find a shed. Oh, it's going to cost me $1,500 for this building, and I don't know what your buildings cost, but let's just say it's twice that. Let's just say it's $3,000 instead of $1,500. You have to make a decision, right? I mean, and you got to make a business decision, and you got to make a household decision and a good financial decision. But one of the things that I hear you saying is that, like, if you want to continue to have a place to buy other things, you need to support local business. Like, find a way to support the local people, because otherwise the economy goes south. I mean, good luck. I mean, your cost of living could go up because of lots of various things. So
definitely.
So there's huge upside to doing those sorts of things. And plus, I mean, I don't know, you just feel good at the end of the day. Like, I didn't just buy this pre-manufactured by someone who doesn't care about my family. Like, this is someone who cared about what I needed, when I needed it, how I needed it. And I think you can feel really good about that.
Yeah. A lot of the times, some of the bigger box stores like Lowe's, their buildings may actually be cheaper than ours, but in the long run, you're going to wind up spending a little bit more just for repairs and things like that and maintenance on it. So we've changed a lot of the products that we use to go with better products just for the warranty purposes. We went from using a wood siding that had no warranty to using a siding with a 50-year warranty on it.
Wow.
So, we've tried to change along the way for the better. Some things, we couldn't keep up with, but we're trying to keep up with all the warranties and make sure that everything is good.
What kind of a wood siding has a 50-year warranty?
It's actually a LP Smart panel, smart siding.
Okay.
It's an engineered product, but it does have a 50-year warranty on it.
But it's made completely out of wood?
Yeah. It has an engineered exterior, engineered face on it. So
it's like a finish on it or something? Or okay. That's crazy.
Pre-primed from, you can buy it from Lowe's, Home Depot. I mean, you can buy it from those local stores.
Sure.
But
well, no, I think that there's also something to be said about you get what you pay for. I mean, you're gonna get, warranties aren't free.
no.
But there's also a reason that someone would offer a warranty on a product. They're saying, look, I have some sustainability in this product, versus someone who's just like, look, I'm going to sell you this product. If it goes bad, should have bought the warranty.
Yeah, we have a 5-year structural warranty included on every product that we build.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
that's great.
All right, I'm gonna try and lure Tyler into the conversation here. So, like, and because you were chuckling earlier when we were talking about some of the inferior products at some of these other big box stores. What do you see? Because you're putting these things together, right? What do you see as the big difference between, like, what you can buy as like a metal shed from a big box store versus what you guys are putting together?
The design of the building.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually looked at other companies and how they build their buildings compared to us, and the quality of their building. There's much of a difference.
Yeah. Now, what for you makes it quality then?
Longer screws.
That's Kevin's only trick.
Ring shank nails.
The right equipment is part of it.
So-
You can't just go around screwing everything together.
Sure.
So
Come on, Kev. We gotta be professional over here.
Yeah, there's a place for a screw and a place for a nail.
yeah,
Right.
So
Okay.
they have different structural strengths.
Okay.
Because I get nail gun happy. I mean,
Me too. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie.
it's just fun.
It looks great on video.
That's right.
It's also easy.
Yeah. When Tyler first started, I think he was probably a couple months in. I actually had him go look at some of our competitors locally, and take pictures. And I actually went and took pictures of another competitor and said, go look at these buildings and look at the quality differences. We try to build our product where it's built like a house. We build it to the same standards. We can build to 140 mile an hour Florida wind zone. We don't always do that because obviously we're not on a coastal county, but we can. It's engineered for that. And a lot of the competitors around here, framing would have a half-inch gap where two boards butt up, and
like don't turn around quick inside of it.
Yeah, it's just to me, that's unacceptable. But that's also a company that builds 100 4x8 wall panels and then puts 3 wall panels together to make a 12-foot wall. So to where we're actually building a 12-foot wall as a unit, to where they're doing it in multiple sections. So.
Sure.
But yeah, he has seen a lot of experience with a lot of the competitors.
There's a big difference between being massively manufactured compared to where we do each one with our crew every time.
Yeah.
So any mistakes, we catch them right then and there, get them fixed, and then keep on trucking. So.
Well, okay, so you guys have mentioned a couple of times now something that is really intriguing to me. We're just see if we can go live here. Yeah, but one of the things you guys have mentioned, I think you mentioned a cabin, and I know one of the things I think I've seen I think it was on your Facebook page, tiny houses, which is a huge market right now. Like people are either buying tiny houses or building tiny houses, or I think there's like this recurring story out there on the internet about these group of retired people all buying these tiny houses around a parking lot together. So you guys put some of these together. How many of these have you guys done now? I think you just told me you just had a cabin delivered.
So I don't actually have an exact count. Honestly, by the end of 2019, my goal was to be doing 51% tiny houses or cabins.
Yeah.
Tiny houses, that term is very tricky. Come to find out, there's a lot of regulations for the tiny houses.
Now, does this have to do with them being on wheels?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I got you.
So then we started looking into park models, which could actually go in an RV park. But then there's even more legalities with that.
Okay.
As far as square footages, wastewater, and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's been a little bit of a setback as far as building 51% of my inventory is tiny houses and cabins. Yeah. But as of right now, we can build a cabin shell, no problem at all.
Okay.
We can even assist with the interior framing, the electrical work, the plumbing work. We just can't do all the tie-ins, and we can't do the finish-out work.
Okay.
So with that's where you'd have to hire another contractor to come in and completely finish it out.
Okay.
Like cabinets and furniture and those sorts of things.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a huge movement right now. And in fact, I was talking to a buddy about this just the other day. I was like, why would someone buy a tiny house over like an RV? I mean, what's the big difference? And I think ultimately, you doing what you do in and of itself tells you the difference. Like the difference in an RV and a tiny home, and I know because I've been remodeling just recently parts of my camper. They're built super cheaply. I mean,
yes,
the materials inside of them. I mean, they're framed out with 2x2s, if that. Sometimes they're like 1.5 by 1.5, right? And there's very little insulation in these things. They're, structurally, they don't take much. But I assume these tiny homes, they're built and engineered quite a bit more hefty. Is that something you would agree with? I
would, yeah. So with travel trailers, RVs, motorhomes, they all have to be, they have to meet a certain weight to go down the road.
Yeah.
So with our cabins, obviously they don't. They do have to meet a weight. Obviously, if it's too heavy for me to transport or any of my employees to transport, we would sub it out to a driver that could.
Yeah.
and we would get it there, or we would build it on site. But with that, we build the same specifications as a site builder, as a house down the street, you know, a $500,000 house. We still use the same materials, the same framing techniques. You know, we do have different framing packages, so you can choose, you know, 12-inch centers, 16-inch centers, 24-inch centers, things like that. But so do house builders. You know, you can upgrade your framing. We use like I said, the same panels that they use, you know, plywood and treated plywood. And
they're just
OSBs.
tiny.
They're just a smaller version.
Yeah.
So it's built just like your house that you're in right now, just on a smaller version.
Okay. So you're getting a much more quality living environment.
Right.
Than what you would get otherwise. Now, here's something that I'm curious about. Have you seen the ones that stand up on their end?
I have seen a tiny house that stood on its end.
Okay.
Yes.
Unbelievable. It's the most bizarre thing ever.
So is it like a tower or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may be thinking of a different one.
Okay. Well, this one, it's probably, so yeah, basically this thing, it goes down the road, right?
Yeah.
It gets to its place and they literally just sit it up on its end. And it's like a tower.
I haven't seen that one.
It is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. But
Interesting.
and it also had like some features where it like had a porch that like came down and like it was like this transformer type of
I
thing.
guess you better have everything tied down in there before.
I don't have a clue how I don't know what all the functionality of how it happened.
Yeah.
But it was on one of those tiny home shows that I watched.
You need to find a link to this and put it up on the page so we can all
I'll try to find it.
bask in its glory.
So it's like a pop-out house?
I guess that's
Instead of a pop-up.
Yeah.
Yes, it just pops out.
Yeah.
It's weird. Anyway,
I have seen one of those. It was a CGI, you know, computer generated image, but you know, to where it all unfolded.
Yeah.
It transported like a metal shipping container, and then once it got there, it was like a 3,000 square foot.
yeah. Well, I mean, and you think about it. That is one of the benefits of owning a travel trailer or fifth wheel or something like that, as opposed to a tiny home, is there's more square footage because you wind up having these slide outs that produce a lot of space inside, but you're still living inside an engineered type of vehicle versus the type of manufactured home that you're talking about.
Right.
Very different.
There's not always more square footage. Like I said earlier, we can build up to a 16 by 40 in a single section.
Okay.
And then the double sections, we can go up to 32 by 40. So when you get up that big, that's a small house.
Yeah.
You know, it really is.
When I've actually seen a lot of these have like essentially 2 floors, you know, where there's like kind of like a loft area and it creates a little bit more space above like a bedroom or different things like that. And so they're able to create some space that way as well.
Yeah, we can do lofted barns. We haven't built any actual 2-story sheds, just for the simple fact of majority of our cells are rent to own, and we can't rent to own a 2-story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so some of the big local box stores that have a 2-story shed on display, they've had it there for several years because guys like myself, we charge too much to go out there and take the second story down so that we can transport it.
Got it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so
It's got to pass underneath the
bridges.
and
the overpasses, the power lines. I don't know how many times I've been called to transport a 2-story barn out of Tomball, and it's just
Can't do it.
Yeah, I ask them, okay, is it the red one? Yeah, I'm sorry, we're gonna refuse.
Is it the red one?
Yeah, we can't do it. You know,
I know about old Bessie.
No, it's not the red one. Blue? No. Yellow? No. Which one is it? Because I'm not doing it.
I'll swing by today.
That's
I'll
right.
look at it at least. But yeah, the 2 stories, you would have to completely disassemble the top floor to get it under the transport height.
Oh, wow.
That makes sense.
So,
But it's not something that most people think about.
not at
Because
all.
how many people transport their home? Not that many.
Yeah.
You do see that a lot, though, where people will be like, hey, free house if you just come move it.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is 15,000.
Yeah.
It gets very
nothing's
costly,
free.
especially on a brick and mortar. I mean, a pier and beam house. To move that is very expensive.
Is it
Okay.
more expensive to move than like a foundation home?
I'm not sure. Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not, because pier and beam is already off.
It's already off the ground.
Yeah, so they can just put their beams underneath it and their axles and go.
Go, yeah.
Mobile homes obviously are cheaper.
Just hitch.
Yeah, just because
They're made
there.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So portable buildings, they're not too bad. You know,
Okay.
we make them to where they are portable. So that helps out a lot.
Well, I was going to ask you earlier because you were talking about the cabin, and before the show, you and I were talking about concrete, and you say like, we'll do concrete work, but like, if it gets a little too complicated, that's out of our range or whatever. But like, for like the cabin, was that pier and beam or was that sitting on a slab?
The most recent cabin, it was actually just a dirt foundation.
Okay.
So it was a pier and beam.
Okay.
We have built one that was on a slab. It's probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
And we've also poured slabs and then put the cabin, a portable building, on top of the slab.
Okay.
We've done that a couple times too. So just depends on what kind of foundation you want under your shed.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're going to be putting a lot of weight in it, we can build sheds that can hold a vehicle inside.
Yeah.
So
Does it make a difference if there's plumbing needs to be put in? Because obviously you can't do the tie-ins, so someone else would have to do that foundation if there needed to be plumbing going through that, right?
right.
Yeah,
Or we
okay.
would try to stub it out the side
Okay, yeah.
where they could still
Just make it all exterior walls.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
That would be an option.
All right,
Cool.
what you got, Kev?
I don't know. I mean, I think that it's really nice to know that there are people out there that can do more than just buy something at Lowe's. Because and not to slight Lowe's. I mean, they're offering a service out there that's very accessible, and honestly, it's it's inexpensive. But it's nice to know that there are other options out there, and I hope that the people listening today are finding out some stuff, and what that is you don't have just one place to go look for these things, and you don't necessarily have to have a metal building, especially like you said, to meet HOA requirements or whatever. Like there are people out there doing things a little more customizable, and you're getting a different quality out there. So hopefully this is something that everybody out there is going, oh, okay, now I know more about this than I did before.
Yeah. HOAs can be tricky. We will work with your HOAs, and that's where the renderings come in, the 3D drawings. HOAs, some of them are very easy.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are not so easy. So,
For adjectives there.
we can make it work. And we don't like dealing with the HOAs, but we have the ability to deal with the HOAs on
Right.
our behalf.
Well, and unfortunately, living, there are some places that you might live in, and that's not an issue. Where we live, it's an issue. Most places in this area have an HOA of some sort.
Yes.
Even I have an HOA.
Even you.
Even me.
Believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yep, makes a difference. Well, what else, man? Anything else you can think of?
No, I'm kind of struck that you can like do the style and the color match for the shed. I mean, I think that's like a really cool option that, one, it makes it look cohesive on the property. Two, it makes it sound like it's easier to talk the wife into. Like, babe, we're going to get a shed, but it's going to match the house perfectly.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's an easier sell in the future as well.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this isn't just some random piece of junk someone threw out here.
That's actually one of the things that really irritates me when I walk onto someone's property is like when you just have this hodgepodge of like non-cohesive buildings. Just like, what's that? Oh, we got something that's kind of like an Oriental style going on over there. That's
Even your property has some cohesiveness to it.
I will grant it that. It is all completely equally weird.
It's made out of the same stuff.
It's made out, yeah.
No, but I do think that's see, Tyler, actively nodding his head whenever I said something about like sellability. Like the resale on y'all's products has got to be a whole lot better as far as, not that people are reselling that product specifically, but some people are selling their home and go, look, this is not your run of the mill shed. Like this is not something, because how many people buy homes and they're like, I'm going to have to take that thing out. Mm-hmm. Like that thing, it's fallen down. Like I don't even know how it's going to pass inspection, won't get insured. Right. But like this is a quality piece of structure that you're going to be happy to have. And if I'm looking at a house, I'm going, wow, that's a nice piece of, material, it's built well.
Yeah. Earlier this year, we actually had a bank out of Dallas call us because just insurance purposes, the shed would not pass an inspection. And they bought one of our sheds to get it on the property. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it exactly where they needed it, but luckily they had contractors out there doing other work on the house, and we assisted them with moving the shed into place.
Palletized it.
Yeah, sure. And I want to say they actually bought one of our lower end models that we build to compete with the bigger box stores.
Sure.
So yeah, that was nice that a bank called us.
Nice.
So I'm glad I remembered this, because this was something I really wanted to ask you about. One of the other, I really wanted to ask you about tiny houses, and so the other trend I wanted to know if you guys have tapped into yet is the she shed. Have you guys jumped on this yet?
She sheds, he sheds,
We sheds.
Yeah,
for the ambiguous.
Yeah. The we sheds.
Yeah, they're all a shed.
Yeah.
It's all about how you decorate it and the colors you paint it. We can do tropical colors. We can do pinks and greens and browns. It's
Galveston's not that far away. People buy them.
It's not. And I actually had a customer here locally that bought a beach theme cottage.
Nice.
So they have a big Texans backyard, and decided they wanted to have a Galveston backyard as well. So the wife got her wants, and husband had his wants.
There you go. So this is kind of a little funny story. So early on, we bought this house in Arkansas, and it has those two sheds I was telling you about. One of them is very nice. It was insulated, paneled. We actually put an air conditioning unit out there, and so it was nicely air controlled, those sorts of things. And my mother-in-law just kind of offhanded one day, she was like, looks like a good mother-in-law's quarters someday. And so my response was, you know what? That's a great idea. Anytime you come visit us, you can sleep out there. That's not the response that I got.
Yeah, how did that go over?
He's like, that's not what I meant, Kevin. I was like, oh, okay. Honey, we need to move. And our current house has no shed, so no mother-in-law's quarters.
That's right.
But I love my mother-in-law. She knows that.
We need to get a shed, dude.
I may need to get my own shed.
Exactly.
Speaking of the he sheds.
We're just right down the road. So
that's right.
We got your man cave.
There you go.
Well, I bring that up because I think typically when people think about a shed, like, well, that's where the husband or the man of the house is going to put the lawnmower, or going to put, the tools, or, whatever it is he's got going on. This seems like a pretty wide trend going on right now. It's like, well, Mama wants a shed too.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, she wants a place to craft and do her things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it. Typically, when the wife wants a shed, it's either to clean out the garage of her husband's stuff so she can park her car back in the garage, especially now that we're getting ice on windshields. These 28-degree mornings are kind of weird around here. But it's either that, or, the wife bought too much Christmas stuff and the husband needs it out of the house.
Yeah.
And they don't have enough attic space.
That's right.
Or they need maybe an at-home office. In-law suites.
I've actually seen that in people's backyards. Yeah, they're using them as offices.
Yep.
So,
well, and again, for example, we used that storage shed. I didn't care what I put out there because it was climate controlled.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my baseball cards out there. I've got 25,000 baseball cards, and I had them in a shed outside. Who does that?
Yeah.
Most people don't. That's not smart. unless you have a nice shed that's climate controlled, that hey, there's nothing
it's
bad.
conditioned.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you can't really do that in an attic. There's some things you can do to cool your attic down so that it doesn't, get to be 170 degrees up there. But even still, it's probably getting up over 100 down here in Houston.
Yeah.
And so, being able to climate control things is huge. Not that I know y'all do sheds that aren't climate controlled, but you can, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can do anything that you're willing to pay for.
There you go. Money.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Well, in case people don't know, if you do use it as a home office, I mean, like, I'm no CPA, but you can write that booger off.
Oh.
So
Yeah, you're working out of your house.
if it's a workspace in the home.
There you go.
So
Boom.
and you can write off what's cool about that is if it's a separate building, you can actually write the whole thing off, because if it's a home office, it can only use like so much square footage of the home to
That
be
is very
designated as the home office. Whereas if it's a separate building, that's just the office.
Okay.
Very
That reminds me of a Seinfeld episode. Are y'all Seinfeld people? No?
Look
No,
at you.
sir.
What is wrong? There's a lot of people out there listening going, I'm out.
Wow.
I mean, like, statistically in the room right now, there's something wrong with you.
But
Well,
maybe so. But there's an episode where they're talking about writing things off. And Jerry's talking about, like, what is a write-off? And Kramer says, I don't know. I'm not the one writing it off. this whole thing. He's like, you can write that off. You can write that off. Anyway.
now we're gonna have to YouTube it.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have to find the
Man.
clip. That in the standing tiny house. Or
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Yep. We'll figure that out. But now we need to get to the final four.
the final four.
Yeah, so final four questions we ask all of our guests. So we'll ask both of you to answer each of these questions.
And by we mean Kevin, because he asked the questions.
That's right. And that's just because Craig doesn't remember them.
Although
So-
I did learn tonight that I actually did write them down in my phone.
Oh, so for future episodes,
If there's an emergency,
you never know.
yep,
It happens.
pull the ripcord.
There
I
you
got
go.
the questions.
All right, first question. What's the must-have tool you won't leave your house without?
Tape measure. Anytime I am in the shop, I've got a tape measure.
Okay.
It's part of quality control. It's part of making sure it's getting done right. It's everything.
Yeah.
Without a tape measure, I'm lost.
Well, now Craig has a question for you.
Well, yeah. So whenever, well, but like I know that he's an Android guy, so he may not have this.
Oh, he's got another really cool app that we can't have. So
Oh, yeah?
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, because we have the Measure app. Do you guys have the any kind of like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Samsung does have one too.
Do they?
Yes.
Have you guys used that?
I don't. I haven't.
I know he's going to be curious how accurate you find it to be, because
Yeah.
that's what he's asked a number of guests this. So.
Well, is yours pretty accurate?
It's usually within 1/16 of an inch.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
not
like,
bad at all.
considering they designed it to like hang pictures on the wall, like that ain't bad.
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah, that's not bad. No, I use Stanley
Yeah,
Craftsman.
yeah. Yeah, you
Not
know.
Android.
No.
I do have an Android phone, but
You
no,
mean
I
the actual physical tape measure?
Yeah, old school.
Preposterous.
Old school. If I see guys in the shop on their phone, first it's like, yeah,
Get off your phone,
whatever.
dude.
Then it's like, come on, man,
Come on, man.
get off your phone, Tyler.
Yeah. So there's another
Calling me
app
out.
that Android has that I have no idea anybody that's used it. I've just seen it out there, where like you can basically put it up against a wall and it'll show you what's in the wall, like piping and wiring and different things like that. It'll show you, and I don't know how it does it. I have no idea. All I know is that it's unavailable for the iPhone, but it is available for the Android. So you can kind of see through the wall, show you where the studs are, all that kind of stuff.
That is nice to know.
I don't know the name of
real.
it, but it's out there.
So I will say this. I learned something about mine the other day when I was using it. I was just showing somebody how it worked. I was like, grabbing a point on the wall and measuring it, and like, look, this wall's an 8-foot wall and whatever. And so it 3-dimensionally maps the room. And what it did when I measured that wall, because it had that perspective, it started grabbing stuff on the wall and like measuring it automatically for me.
Really?
So like it grabbed like a light switch and it told me that it was like 4.5 inches by 4 inches or something like that. And like it was just grabbing like pictures on the wall and tell me how big they were. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So like it does a bunch of stuff I probably haven't figured out yet because
Interesting.
yeah.
Cool. All right, Tyler, your turn. What's a must-have tool you won't leave your house without?
I was also going to say the tape measure, and I think it's David's fault for that. He's kind of got me stuck on it as well. So
I walk in, see him without a tape. Hey, where's your tape?
yeah,
No.
always on me.
Yeah.
Always have it.
Good.
At work, not at work. I
Yeah.
have it somewhere. I promise.
Nice.
You got it on you right now?
In my car. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
I don't have one on me, so
I mean, I got my
I'll be-
phone.
yeah, but I don't have a Stanley or a Craftsman.
No.
So, all right. Next question. What's a job you've walked away from? So, when we wrote this question, we meant for it to be like, what's a project around your home that you started and you were like, you know what? I cannot do this. Like, I need to hire someone out to do this because I'm not doing this job anymore. It got too complicated. That's what we intended the job you walked away from question to be. However, some people take it to be a career. Some people take it to even be like maybe a customer's come in and said, hey, you know, I want this, and they were just so difficult to work with or something. They had unreasonable expectations, and you were like, can't help you. So I want you to take this question how you want to, but what's a job you've walked away from?
Well, there's quite a few. So, and see, I was trying to think of this earlier. I should have. So, I would say we actually turned away a pretty big job, I guess about a year ago. I spent a lot of time in the drawings on this job.
Yeah.
And no charge, which is not normal. So we did a lot of work up front, and it just got to a point where we had to tell the customer, "Hey, we're out." You know,
It was just too big, or it was just
yeah, a little bit of everything. Too big. I didn't have the experience at the time. Actually, we were still in the old shop in Plantersville. So,
Not enough room either.
yeah, it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we were in 500 square foot at the time. That's as big as a garage.
Yeah.
So we it was very small. It was very tight. There wasn't very much room at all to move around, and it was just too big for me at the time. And with the crew I had to meet their expectations, it was a decent sized commercial job, and they were wanting multiple units, and we had to turn it down. Mm-hmm. I mean, it would have been a great project to add in the portfolio. It would have kept us busy for a long time, but it was one of those things we knew up front that it wouldn't happen. It would take too long, and then I would have a very angry customer, and which would hurt my reputation and also ruin a friendship. You know, we did create a friendship along the way, and took the customer out to dinner and said, "Hey, it's just not going to work." I did refer them off to another contractor and said, "Hey, this is what he does day in, day out," and they got a project and happy as can be.
Yeah.
So.
Win-win kind of.
Yeah. I just passed it off to somebody else.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it, unfortunately. Okay. Now we're in a position we could, but at the time, it was more than we could handle.
Sure. All right, Tyler, a job you walked away from.
I think the first time that I got on one of the bigger sheds that we built, I almost slipped off the roof on accident doing shingles. And I think that's the only job I've really walked away from until I finally got back up there.
Yeah.
Not a problem now.
Yeah, but you're like, for a while, you're like,
I was like, nah, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Just got to get back on that bike.
Yep. Just got to get back on.
Yeah. Heights can be scary if you fall down.
It does hurt a little bit.
A little bit.
Well,
probably the most scary of being high.
Sure. Yes. Are we still talking about being on top of roofs?
No, I thought we were
Okay, just question. Okay, third question.
if you're high and you're high.
There you go. The chances are a lot higher at that point. Okay, third question. How do you wind down at the end of a long day?
Well, we talked about driving time earlier. So typically it takes me an hour and 15 minutes to get home
Wow.
from the shop. So honestly, I drive home with no radio. Just drive and relax. And that's my quiet time because when I get home, you got kids running around screaming and then you got to help with dinner or what you can help with. So that's my quiet time. Normally I drive to work, no radio on, unless I know I need to get myself pumped up, and then I turn something on to get going. But yeah, I silence.
Yeah. I really like that. Not too long ago, I was part of a group that kind of challenged each other to find time for silence in their day. And one of the easiest ways to do that is in your vehicle and to just turn things off, those sorts of things. Because if you're not going to listen to the homeowner show, what else are you really going to listen to anyway?
Right.
Garbage.
Exactly.
Garbage.
And then when you have those apps that, reward you or quote unquote, but
exactly.
Keep you off your phone. You just put your phone down and just forget
put it
about
down.
it. Just drive.
That's right. That's commendable. I like it. Good stuff. All right.
Beat that, Tyler.
Well, mine is actually the opposite. I like to listen to music on my way home.
Okay.
That is my getaway, is music and driving. I love driving. Been around a race car family my whole life.
Okay.
So I love driving. But I have to have music on. I cannot do the silence. And then, when I do have downtime, it's probably when I'm going home.
Yeah.
That's about it.
It's very strange on my drive homes. Sometimes I feel like I'm at the shop and then I'm home. It's like I don't really. What happened on the drive?
Yeah.
You ever get like that?
Absolutely.
You're on autopilot, and then it's like, man, I'm already. Wow.
It's a bizarre feeling too. It's like, how did I get here?
Yeah, and it's like that a lot, and I think that's just my away time. I'm kind of zoned out and just driving.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I hear his music. 5:30 hits. Tyler's in his car.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
everybody hears it, neighbors and all.
Yep.
But luckily, we haven't had any complaints yet.
Hopefully
they don't get any ideas by listening to this show.
Man, that's funny. I had a buddy in high school. He had a pickup and just an extended cab pickup. And in the back in the back seat, the extended cab portion, he had two 18-inch subs. Two.
Wow.
And from a block away, he could make glass rattle from a block away. It was crazy.
Man.
Crazy. All right. Last question. We're almost there. What's one of the best pieces of wisdom or advice you've ever received?
Can I be bleeped out before? Like if I say something? Yeah, can y'all bleep
We
it
can
out?
bleep you.
Okay.
Yeah, we can bleep you.
They're probably.
They probably already heard it. Yeah.
Bleep. When do you want me to start bleeping you? Okay. Okay.
The best piece of advice that has been given to me is do not put your hands where you would not put your pecker. That is the best one.
Okay.
Not everybody listens to that.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's why.
I've preached it to him so many times. You better start knocking on some wood. It's worked out.
Yeah.
I got nothing to follow that up with. So, David, what's one of the best pieces of wisdom or advice you've ever given? I mean, received.
It's hard to pinpoint. I've had several mentors, in this business and previous businesses and, previous employers. And it's really hard to narrow it down to the best one. It's all very good. One of them is don't retire on one customer. Don't try to retire off of one customer. Growing up, if you're not early, you're late.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that one a lot. I've said that several times over the past few weeks to a lot of new employees or ex-employees at this point. But
they did not receive the wisdom, apparently.
Yeah, it just didn't stick.
Yeah.
Not sure if they listen to this or not, but we'll find out in the next couple of weeks, I guess, because we are still Facebook friends.
Well, hopefully they were there long enough to learn the bit about the hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, he no, he didn't actually learn it, but he learned the hard way.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
He learned the hard way. Yeah. Definitely an ouch.
Yeah.
But if you're not early, you're late.
Yeah. Okay.
Show up 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
It's easy. So much can happen on the road, especially, in an hour's drive time. But and I do have an employee that lives probably an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half away. And he does what he needs to do to make sure he's there on time, bright and early every morning.
Good. That's awesome.
So it can be done.
Can be done.
Definitely.
All right. Well,
fifth and final secret question.
Secret question.
Yeah.
We couldn't reveal the secret until just now. So, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, obviously, we're all over Facebook. So you can look us up at Smart Size Buildings. Just go to Facebook and literally type in Smart Size Buildings.
Okay.
And they pop up.
All right.
You can go to smartsizebuildings.com. We have a website presence there. You can call the office. The number is 936-463-8392. We do have a slight presence on Instagram. We're so busy. I haven't really been able to keep up with all the platforms. But we're getting there.
Okay.
I'm trying to delegate more nowadays. So I may put somebody else in charge of the Instagram.
There you go.
And we're right off of Honia, Egypt, in Ponderosa. And then we have a storage location right now on McCaleb at 2854 beside the fireworks stand.
All right. Yeah. Awesome. I mean, this has been good. Thanks for taking the time to come in and spend some time with us. I hope that it's been good for you. I know I've learned a lot.
It's been great.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys had us here.
Yeah.
No, it's been good. It's a subject we've been wanting to talk about for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button there in iTunes or Google Podcast, whatever Stitcher Radio that you're listening to. We appreciate you downloading our episodes. As always, you can find us online at homeownershow.com. You can send us an email at info@homeownershow.com. But thank you for downloading our episode. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all of those things.
Happy Merry. Hey, real quick, cool new release in the world of podcasting. You can now do it through like Alexa and Google Home. You can just say, play the Homeowner Show.
That's right.
And it'll just do it.
Yeah.
Like they have like their own service now. It's so cool.
It is cool.
Pretty nice.
So, yeah.
No excuses.
That's right. You don't even have to like click on Kevin's goofy app anymore.
That's right.
You don't have to click on the donkey or any of that stuff. There's no clicking.
No clicking.
You just download it. And
you got to say it.
Say it out loud. Alexa, play the Homeowner Show. You know you want to. And the music will kick in.
There you go.
Right there.
Yep, that's the way it goes. Thanks for downloading this episode. We're here every Tuesday, even on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. We will have an episode.
Yep.
So hope you're looking forward to that. And until then, we'll see you next time.
See ya.